We actually want to crit with our offhand. Do not. Oh. Okay. Oh, we still have attacks going. Yeah. Pretty much. Balance level 7 build. Hello guys, so today we're gonna be talking about a dual wield build with the Blood of Lathander weapon that you can get in Act 1. It's a legendary weapon, a +3 legendary weapon. So let's go quickly through the spreadsheet and then we'll go through the build. So I've broken it down into two different builds. One is if you do have the dex gloves, the other if you don't have the dex gloves. One focuses on fighter paladin with a burst on turn 1, the other one focuses on having good smites. So yeah, let's go through it. The purpose of the build is to actually make it viable, because Great Weapon Master feats are so strong in this game that it would be really hard to actually outshine them. However, the advantage of not using those builds is that you land your attacks a lot more often, so this build is going to be a lot more reliable. This is the Dex Gloves build. Let me tell you what the items are going to be about. Essentially, we're going to be concentrating on spells to do more damage, and whenever we deal damage with our smites, alternatively you could change this either of these rings for the ring that also does 2 acid damage per weapon attack. That also works. You don't need the 1d4. The gloves, again, we talked about them. The evasive shoes are very good. They give you armor class. I think you also get this from the vendors in Act 2. When you're going for the dex build, I recommend putting on the anti-scale mail, as it really boosts your armor class a little bit more than the rest of the armors. If not, you could give some infernal iron to the smith in Act 2 and he will make this armor for you. Or you can just put on any other armor with +2. There's a lot of those in the game. Yeah, so I would personally recommend the UNT scale if you go for the dex build. Then you can also get a cloak of protection to get that boost, but the bread and butter of this build is how the circlet, you can get this circlet from the Inquisitor area. Whenever you inflict a condition, gain synergy for 2 rounds. So weapon attacks deal damage equal affected to the spellcaster's ability modifier. So as you can tell, we're now getting a little bit of hand. So our weapons, the Blood of Lathander, can inflict a condition, and our smites can inflict a condition. So we're going to be inflicting a condition which is going to allow us to add our ability modifier to our weapon attacks. So instead of doing +4 or +5, we're going to be doing +9, +10. So this can actually compete with a Great Weapon Master due to the reliability of the build. Alternatively, and remember, you are getting bonus action attack as well. Alternatively, if you go for the other build, you're not going to be wearing the gloves of dexterity. You're going to be wearing the gloves of balanced hand. This allows you to actually use your ability modifier to the damage of the second attack with the offhand. So this is actually going to boost your damage by a little bit on your offhand. And if you also have the fighting style, this also stacks with the fighting style. So let's say your offhand attack will actually be doing more damage. So with this build, you could probably even go Thief, 3 levels, but right now I'm level 7, so it wouldn't be viable to do 5 Paladin, 3 Thief. But that's possible to do down the line. So yeah, that's the item synergy. I hope that wasn't very confusing. Also, I wear the Amulet of the Harpers, which allows you to cast Shield as a reaction. So my effective armor class can go from 23 to 28. That's a lot. And the Darkfire Shortbow, you can also get this from Act 2, which gives you resistance to 2 major types of damage, and you can also cast haste with it. So this is gonna be pretty crazy. Let's talk about the Illithid Abilities before we fight this guy. The Illithid powers that I choose is Lack of the Far Realms, and I also chose Ability Drain. Now, Psychic Overload is not bad, but you would have to use your action for it to get a little bit more damage, so you'd have to do it before combat. But Ability Drain is the reason I got this. Essentially, it allows you to nerf your enemies while you're actually attacking them. So it combos very well when you do a lot of attacks with the action surge. So the glove build, I took 2 levels of fighters for the action surge and the fighting style, the dual wielding fighting style. Then 5 levels of Paladin for the smites and dual wielder feat at level 6. For Warlock, it would be a little bit different because you'd be able to use Pact of the Blade and your main weapon attack would do even more damage. So it would actually do plus, you would add your ability modifier twice on that weapon. So it would be plus 13. And plus 13, it's almost as much as Great Weapon Master. So yeah, let's go through the build real quick. And then maybe we can do some gameplay as well.
Fate, dost thou require a new ally?
So we would start out as a fighter. You could start out as a paladin, but I prefer the Constitution saving throw, and it's kind of important if we're going to be concentrating on haste, since we're going to be in the midst of battle. So 2-weapon fighting. That allows us to do a little bit more damage with our main hand. And since we are going the Dex Glove build, we want to be maxing Charisma. I also have anti-ethels here, so actually my Charisma is going to be 18 after I do this, since this is a main character. I put a lot of points in Strength, because you're going to be shoving people a lot and you want to be resistant to shoving. Also, it helps you carry stuff, and I think Strength is more important if you're in the face of the enemy. Yeah, then I would put the point in Constitution. Could do it on Strength as well. It's really up to you. That leaves you with 2 extra points to do as you like, as you please. So maybe Dexterity is probably the best one. So for Proficiency, I would go for Acrobatics and probably Intimidation, since this is a main character. Okay, so level 2. Get the Action Surge. And now we swap to Paladin. I would love to see it with a Battle Master, and maybe even with Paladin's Vow of Enmity to get that advantage for extra crits, and combo Champion maybe with Vow of Enmity, and that's possible. But okay, you know what? Let's try Oath for Vengeance for one. I always try Oath of the Ancients. Let's do Oath of Vengeance this time. Let's see if it's good. Fighting style now would get defense. Dueling is not good, and you could go with a shield and the weapon and have a 25 armor class without even casting the reaction shield. But yeah, it's probably not gonna be high in damage. So for smites, I'll definitely pick the smites here. They're very important, and maybe command. Probably Shield of Faith as well. Right, actions. Abjure enemy. Vow of Enmity. Yes. Okay, yep. This is gonna be good. And we can also do Hunter's Mark. It's not that bad. Heroism, Bless, doesn't really make a difference. We're not gonna be using those. We're gonna be using our spell slots for smites. So with the fighter build, you get less smites, but with the warlock build, you get higher level smites. Now, we're at the option where we have to choose our feat. I believe Warcaster would be a very good feat if it would allow you to actually cast spells, but it says use your reaction to cast Shocking Grasp. And that way you wouldn't be able to dual wield the Morning Star. You would have to go to lower level weapons. Well, and if you don't pick dual wielder here, you're not gonna be able to dual wield the Blood of Lathander, because it's a heavy arm. It's a heavy weapon. It's not a two-handed weapon, but it's heavy. It's not light. So you wouldn't be able to dual wield. So I would pick this here. Maybe if you get another ability score increase down the line at later levels, I would consider Warcaster if it actually allowed you to do something other than Shocking Grasp, Opportunity Spell. I feel like this needs to be worked on a little bit. Tough could help you with your survivability. Sentinel would give you an extra reaction attack. Maybe Resilient in some sort of saving throw would also be good to boost your dexterity saving throws. Lucky to give yourself advantage is also very good. And it's 3 times per day, right? And yeah, Alert is also good as it gives you a bonus to initiative, so you get to go first and you get to smite everyone. So those are the options I would consider. You can also go for ability score improvement and, you know, max your charisma if you'd like. But on the next one, for the first feat, you need to get the dual wielder. Yeah, and this is the build. Now we get our extra attack and always get Branding Smite from the options. It's the only actual ability you might ever use. Sometimes I choose Lesser Restoration sometimes because you never know what you're gonna have to help someone get rid of, even though you have your Lay on Hands. That can prevent conditions. Yeah, so this is it now. As you can see, we're back to where it started. With the secondary weapon I would recommend equipping would either be the Sword of Life Stealing, which is essentially a weapon that when you crit, you do extra damage, and you also gain temporary HP, as long as the enemy is in a constant or an undead. Alternatively, you could get the Knife of the Undermountain. You get the Sword of Life Stealing from the Safe Haven vendors in Act 2. You get this from the Gift vendor in Act 1. Okay, I can't wait to try it out. So let's do a save. Testing your dual wielder. Let's take it out on his own. Where are there people to kill? I think there's some people to kill in the Emerald Grove. Sorry, druids. You have to test this out. Pop. How's your day been? Now we should be casting haste before the battle. Ideally, you want to cast haste on you before you start the fight.
Sort of fight, and now you have one.
Yes, let's go. Jure an enemy, frighten an enemy. No, I'm not using my action on that. So let's see. 80 HP is not enough. Also, yeah. So right now we could use our action to cast Sunbeam, or alternatively, we can smack her in the face. We can use Lack of the Firearms, and the highest level smite we have, and that's just one attack. Remember, okay? And we have another one. Okay. You have to make sure we don't lose our concentration. Oh no, you see, this is the problem. When you lose your haste, you actually lose the turn afterwards. So you need to find a way to make it a little bit more reliable, maybe. So right now you could do like a Thunderous Smite and drop a Divine Smite on top. Yeah. So all we had to do was land 2 attacks. Whenever the war is healed, the weapon becomes coated in poison and does an additional 1d6 poison damage. Probably we should kill her either way for that one. Also, Shield of Faith is a concentration spell, but you're giving up a bonus action attack that will be doing quite a...
Violence hasn't gone on.
Do not react. So you'll see, okay, so we've taken out his friend. And now we still have one more action. Well, one more attack, really. No, it's not one more action. So we could AoE him. We haven't used the spell yet. We could also try to hold him. That's 60%, and then we would do automatic crits. But yeah, let's go at it. I also equipped the acid ring this time. We actually want to crit with our offhand. Do not. Oh. Okay. Oh, still have attacks going. Yeah. Pretty much. Balance level 7 build. We didn't even use our channel oath. Wow, MNT. But we kind of really like this offhand damage. It's even a little bit more. And on a crit, it deals extra necrotic. However, Lathander's Light is gonna help you be even more survivable, right? And if you're ever caught fighting a lot of enemies, then you can just use the ability. So this is the fighter build, guys. Let me know if you need help with the Paladin video as well. With the Paladin build, I've already made a Paladin build. So as long as you start with these stats, you should be fine with the Paladin Warlock build instead of the Paladin fighter build, the Dex and the no Dex. So we just looked at how the Dex build works. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for watching, and let me know what you think about this video in the comments. Maybe I'll make more of this style of videos because I have a lot of items that combo at this point. I'm gathering everything, so yeah, see you around, guys.